What's up, guys? I'm gonna do a quick video on this new mini bike build. So the last mini bike, which was the first mini bike that I did not know at all that so many people were gonna freak out about it and like it so much. I'm actually building, this one is based off of the first one, but I'm building the back end. It's a complete proprietary setup that I'm doing that I wanted to do on the first one, but at that time last year, especially with COVID going on and being so hard to get parts and stuff and a lot of other things, I just decided not to do that at that time. So it's basically the same. There's a couple of differences, but I also wanted to show you how I build my mini bikes, because I build them the same way that I build a motorcycle, a custom bicycle. Basically anything that I build on two wheels, I do this way. And this would be a good time for me to step in to do this, because tomorrow I'm getting ready to put in the head tube, and at that point it's going to come out of this fixture and you won't get to see this part again. But this goes to show you, if this goes up for sale, which I'm not sure if it's going to yet, the difference between, say, you buying an $700,000-$800,000 mini bike versus if I'm asking $2,500 for this. This is a lot of the reason why. So everything that I do is completely fixture welded. I see a lot of mini bikes that get built on YouTube, and I think it's mostly just the nature of mini bikes, because it isn't really something that precision is that critical. That people are like, they'll be setting the head tube angle, and I got one over here. This is actually a old head tube that was the incorrect length. But they'll be, holding a fork up here by hand, and they'll just be like eyeballing it and being like, well, I think that looks good, let's just tack it there. And, or they'll be setting the rear wheel and just be holding it by eye and being like, maybe they got a buddy with the welder and, well, I think that looks good, just tack it. And that's not how I build. Like, this is the same construction that you would build a motorcycle, a quality motorcycle. So everything is completely fixture welded. This fixture makes sure that everything is dead straight. Anything with two wheels, you need to be dead straight down the center with your neck, your rear axle. And the other thing is, your rear axle needs to be perpendicular this way, with the head tube being straight up and down this way. And with this, there's no guesswork. Tomorrow, I will, like I said, be putting the head tube in. And at that point, it's going to be set with this dial indicator. I usually run that. It's got this groove on the one side, which will sit right over the top of a flat tube. So I usually, once the tube is in there, I can set this right at the degree that it should be, right at the degree that it should be, so that the rake and trail is set correct, everything. So I go through great lengths to make sure that my stuff is like this, and everything is just as ultra clean. The welds, everything on this is if I were doing a full-size motorcycle. So if this goes for sale later and I'm asking $2,500 for it, that's the difference between why it's a $2,500 mini bike and not a $700 mini bike. And I know there's a lot of people out there that just don't understand that, but that's the difference. Besides the fact that it's 100% original design, 100% TIG welded, and these are the new wheels and tires for it. This isn't exactly standard mini bike fare, which is also why I have to build the whole thing. by hand, because people always ask me what rear wheel and tire is that, and where did you get this and that, and you're not, even if I tell you you're not gonna buy this and just put it in your stock mini bike frame, believe me, it's not gonna fit. This is a 12, it's a 12 by 7, and this is a 13 by 3.5 for the front. It's already got a big rotor on it, so it's going to have a lot of front brake, which was a big thing for me even on the last build. And then it's just getting the standard 212 with a torque converter, and I'm running the torque converter to get that big tire going. And I did the regular, remove the governor, remove the oil sensor, and I'll go ahead and build a custom header for it and maybe put a carb on it. For me, it's just not worth building these engines. If I end up keeping this, then I'm just gonna go ahead and pull that out and put a pit bike engine in it. For the money that you put into those 212s, or any, I always call them lawnmower engines. To me, it's not worth it, because it's just, by the time you spend whatever, $1,000, $1,200 for what you're getting out of it, it's just, you know, you can get a pit bike engine now for like $400 or $500, brand new with the electronics ready to go. It's the same thing with that. That's why it's got the Harley engine in it, because originally it was getting a 420 Predator, and you know, I'm not spending $2,000 to build 420 Predator, especially whenever you're gonna wrap up like $400 some in just the torque converter. It's not worth it for me. So like I said, tomorrow this is all coming out of here, and I've got to get the degree that I want on this head tube, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut these. This head tube will get clamped in here, and that's what, this is adjustable this way, and this is adjustable up and down this way, and I'll get that set in there right and get this welded in. These are just temporary, these are rods, are just temporary braces to hold those. And I usually just, I leave my head tube fixture like that until last. And I get my lines exactly where I want them. And then I cut that for the head tube. And then I use that fixture last just to set the head tube in the frame. That's basically all that's for, besides a reference for making sure that the frame is straight lined up with that. And I can actually come back later if I need to. That's why I've got this clamp on here. I can come back and tweak this left or right to get it lined up. All right, guys, I'll keep you posted on this build. And if you want to see more details about it, and I got some good detailed pics on my Instagram of the welds and some other stuff with it, you can check that out. All right, guys.